T-Man 978 Chill Review. Hello everyone, T-Man 978. Of course, for anybody who didn't get this message in one of my other videos, that white noise hum you hear, well, is kind of overbearing. It's not even white noise. That's my air conditioning. It is damn hot, so I'm not going to be burning up during these reviews. But anyway, here is Deluxe Class Titans Returns Blur with Hyperfire. Here's a look at his packaging right there. Here's this stuff right there on the side if you want to see that. Stuff on the back. Now the bio is just as sparse as ever. It seems like everybody, Decepticons and Autobots, has like the first sentence and then they get their own individual sentence right there. Take note of that Autobot symbol and the paintwork right here. He's even less painted right here than the actual toy is, but he doesn't have that Autobot symbol, which is unfortunate. Now, Hasbro finally listened to us because these cards are way better than the Combiner Wars ones. They have the image of the figure, a good image of the figure that you're actually getting. And they actually have tech specs. Now, these tech specs are reminiscent of the old school Transformers Generation 1 Headmaster's tech specs that would normally be inside their body when you connect the Headmaster, but you get to see it here. Red represents the regular robot, and blue represents how much more powerful they get when you connect the Titan Master. Touching on the instructions briefly, they show you how to transform the main figure, but the back consists of how to play with the Titan Master and whatnot. And here is Blur back, and as you can see, stand ports have returned. And he looks rather nice like this, but that's mostly because, and here's my only gripe with the figure, Hasbro decided not to paint him like pretty much at all. And then where he is painted, it should have been a brighter paint because you can barely see it. Like this, I never knew from watching reviews. Maybe I didn't pay attention. All of this is painted. It's painted a dark blue. He's already like a slightly dark blue. His plastic is full of metallic flake, but that's painted, and he does have this nice G1 detail. Looking at an image of this version, the Japanese version, and the G1 cartoon and the G1 toy, I could see that Hasbro went with, or that's what they're going to try to tell you they went with. They went with a G1 toy version because the paint apps were actually sparse with the G1 toy. But looking at this guy and looking at some of the other figures, maybe not Hardhead so much because he looked awesome. I didn't buy him yet, but I would definitely wait if you want to have better paint for the Japanese version. But other than that, this is an awesome figure, but it just pains me that they didn't paint it to look better. So that's the only thing I can complain about is the paint. But anyway, he's good all the way around. Like the sculpting and molding and whatnot, like I didn't expect this. Like, look at his back. He's covered in detail that completely went unpainted. But let me get off of that. What I like about him over Combiner Wars is he is definitely Blur. This can't be anybody else but Blur. And it has like better engineering in some areas. Like he has actual wrist swivel. I don't think a lot of the deluxes for Combiner Wars had wrist swivel. And he's like mostly closed up. Like they tried to make sure that his legs aren't so hollow looking. I mean, they are actually hollow, but they went out of their way. And I know Combiner Wars did do that to you, but they did everything they could. Like his arms are hollow right here, but that's also due to the way he transforms, which I can't fault. He has right here a little spot for an Autobot symbol, but they didn't give him one. Luckily, I have some repro labels so I can fix that. But let's zoom in on the face. I actually love the face sculpt. I can't think of much they could have did to make it better. This little antenna thing, I like that it comes up just like the G1 toy and cartoon, but it doesn't click. Like, I try to pull on it to click, make it, see if it would click, but you'll pull the head out before you make it click somewhere. While I have it out, the best way I've seen to put this back in is like at a sort of an angle like that and push it down. Like, trying to push it straight down is kind of difficult. But let's get an articulation. His head is on a ball joint. He can look up more than he can look down because that chin is very big. Shoulders come all the way up. Get out the way of his head and whatnot. Swivel. 90-degree bend on the elbow. Wrist rotate. Waist rotation on a mushroom peg. If you follow me on Facebook, you've seen what the funny picture I made. Ball jointed hips that can go out to that far, go all the way back, all the way forward. Knees bend slightly more than 90 degrees, and his toe goes forward. I know that's just for transformation, but that does help him stand up depending on the pose you got him in. But you see, he comes with this skinny gun. I kind of don't like it too much because it kind of looks like just like he's holding a missile with a handle. And of course, his shield. His whole paint budget went into this shield right here. And well, let's get some comparisons in here before I start going into the actual Titan Master. Here he is next to a couple of Generations figures who have a similar color scheme, or a similar color scheme that he should have had. But they, as you can see, they are way better painted in my opinion. Of course, this is Generations Blurr, his old self. His head is more IDW Comics designed. This is more G1, and this thing I swear will not stay up. I don't know if you can notice this, but I went ahead and put that repro label in there like I wish he already had. And I guess, let's see if he can cannibalize these weapons. Oh yeah, he can hold Generations Blurr weapons, as you can see right there. I have these guns attached to his forearms, but of course he should be able to, yeah, they're loose. Now this was a tight fit, but these little guns are loose, so there's that. Here he is next to some other Season 3 characters, or IDW characters right there. The shield, if you don't want him holding it on the side of his arm, he does have other peg holes. Like, you have him hold it like that. The G1 toy held it like that. Or you can hold it like this to be, I don't know. But you can also store it on his back if you don't want him holding it at all. And he would just look like that, which is still cool. So let's get into Hyperfire. Pull him off. All you have to do basically is stand him up like that. And now Hyperfire is a robot. He does have this articulation there to sit down in the seat. And you can make out his leg details and his arms, which are on a ball joint that can only go out that far, and they can go forward so he can pretend he's holding a fake steering wheel or whatever. I'm gonna try desperately to get in there on his face. But yeah, there you go with that. Kind of reminds me of one of the aerial bots, and of course, since he has the ball joint in his neck, he can look up and do the tilts and whatnot. And one thing special about him that not all of them have, and here's a close-up on this, the hand detail right there while I have it. But he has a pin in the hip and the knee. So if you took an X-Acto knife and somebody told me use a wire cutter, I've seen it on Facebook, you could actually wind up splitting his legs so he can have independently moving legs, because the pins would just keep them in there and these pins wouldn't fall out the knees. You wouldn't have to worry about that. But that's cool. Transformation. One thing this line surprised me about is I didn't think they were going to go full on Headmaster. I thought they were going to incorporate the head into the transformation, like you could be able to keep that on, but you can't. So basically just pop it off. Go ahead and flip these forward and these go into the groove of the back of his hand. And another thing I'm shocked about, they didn't cheap out on the engineering. I'm shocked that this wasn't just one big hinge that went back. It's actually two hinges, which is cool. Lift the arms up like this. Go ahead and open this because it's going to be tough to grab in a while. Pull that up. Lift the feet up. Open this. Pull this little thing out right there. Open this leg up. Flip them forward like this. They don't clip into the crotch or anything, even though the crotch does have crotch holes. There's no peg right there to clip into that. That's what you would think normally. You have to bring this up and then push the legs together. Yeah, there you go. Now shut the legs right there. Bring this down. Leave it like this for now. Bring this forward. I guess you could put that like that. Now we need to slot that into the arms and push it on both sides. And he is a futuristic car. Keep that open. Take a little Hyperfire here, put his arms forward so he can be driving, even though Blurr can drive itself basically. Set him like that. There's a little seat in there. He doesn't really peg, or I haven't been able to peg him. Shut that, and that's as far as it goes. And he is a nice futuristic Cybertronian cruiser. And I like the way the wheels are, because it still looks like he's hovering and he can tilt and whatnot on his wheels. I forgot one more step in the transformation. Now you could technically put this gun here, but what they want you to do is go ahead and peg this under here, which I don't really like too much. But there's that. He does have a weapon, and here he is next to RC. His most comparative comparison, because I hear that RC once upon a time was going to be a repaint of Blurr. I'm happy they didn't do that, because she would have been very big and very masculine looking, just pink. Since the Titan Masters are the star of the show here, they have one more thing that he can do with Hyperfire. Let me make sure I'm saying the right name. I am good. You could take that, grab this, pull it down, and unslot that. Now you have to bring this all the way up like that. Go ahead and basically shut this into place. Take this, grab Hyperfire, put his legs straight. He has this little notch on the back. Most of them do. You can slide him in here. And this is in the way. Push down on his feet. Oh, actually, I was supposed to open this up. How does that open up? Come on. Yeah, I was right. Pull that out. Now there's a hole there for that little notch. And sit him there if he wants to get in there. Push that down and put the weapon back. He's not really touching it. And before I forget to mention it, one thing I don't like about these Titan Masters is they just have a face on their back, and That looks ridiculous. The old Headmasters used to cover the face up with a little piece of plastic. But basically, set him in there. Shut this. Attach this to the side. And now he becomes like a Target Master. He's a Titan Master, he's like a Headmaster and a Target Master at the same time. And he still can roll. So, yeah. I don't know what type of vehicle this is. Nobody knows what type of vehicle it is. It's from Cybertron. At the end of the day, Blurr is definitely a very good deluxe Transformers figure. He is very fun to play with. I'll honestly, because of the Titan Master, I didn't think I would. But because of the Titan Master, I've been transforming him back and forth and back and forth. And he does have a slightly involved transformation, but it's very fun and easy. In fact, like, it's just slightly more complicated than a typical Combiner Wars figure. And as far as that, the build quality, it definitely does feel like a Combiner Wars figure. I mean, he does feel tighter in some areas than them, so I don't want to give him a complete bad rap. I hope the other deluxes that are out right now in this wave are like him, but I have seen some horror stories. One of my friends was showing me the other figures. He picked them up and shook them like this, and their legs are just swaying back and forth, just loose, looking like dollar store toys. But anyway, if you want to see more from me, like the comparison with this guy's Headmaster with Hyperfire, click the video that's about to appear right here, or you can also look at the video I have down here. Subscribe, comment, share. T-Man978 out of here.